Welcome to episode 61 of the Brew Crew Scoop. It's the All-Star break. It's currently Thursday, July 17th. Today, when this podcast comes out, it'll be the start of the quote-unquote second half. Brewers are 56 and 40. They rolled into the All-Star break super hot, which you could say, oh, darn, they're hot and they had to take a break. But honestly, in years past, we've kind of limped into the All-Star break. So I'll take this any
Hey,
day. I
Sal
don't care.
Frelick is limping into the All-Star
Yeah,
break, so it helps
true.
him.
Spoiler.
Yeah. Well, I
Um,
don't know if that's a spoiler.
I'm kidding. But it's 16 games over 500. And we're going to talk the All-Star game, Trevor McGill and Jacob Misiorowski, controversial, pitched in the All-Star game for the Brewers, and going to talk some trade deadline too. So that's about all we got. Just a little bit of a different episode today.
Yeah, and MLB draft happened. We still don't have all the signings in, so I feel like we should probably hold off on a full-on deep dive, but we can touch on that a little bit too.
Absolutely. All right. Well, first I gotta ask you, did you have a hot hitter and an untouchable pitcher this week, even though it's the All-Star break?
Yeah, well, we technically we didn't record since the National Series, so I just have a one series hot hitter. We
All
also
right.
didn't have any All-Stars hitters, so I
Yeah.
can't even play that into it.
Stop dropping on fire, Ricky Bobby! I'm on fire! He's so hot right now.
Um, but we actually had a lot of guys hit well in that series. We swept the series. But I'm gonna go with. I feel like I gotta go with Jackson Churio. Technically not the best average over that span, but in his 12 plate appearances, he had three singles, a double, and a homer, 4 runs, and six RBI. Um, three strikeouts and one caught stealing, but we're not gonna talk about that. And honorable mention, William Contreras also had a nice series, so I would love maybe a couple days off helps that finger, and we see more of the William Contreras we saw last year in the second half. I think that would be huge for this team. And then untouchable pitcher.
You fellas are untouchable. Is that the thing? No one can get to you?
That one I will give to an all-star. Freddie Peralta, in his one outing prior to the all-star game, he went 6 and 2/3, gave up one earned, and he only had one walk and three hits surrendered, and he struck out seven. And then while Brandon Woodruff was slightly touchable with 5 hits given up in 4 1/3, he had 10 Ks over that 4 1/3, which is pretty nuts. If he's going to be striking guys out of the clip he's done in his first two games, we have the three-headed monster we were talking about last week, I think, at the top of this rotation in a slightly surprising um, set of events, I guess.
Yeah, that rotation's looking real nice, and I know we'll probably
You're
talk
talking about
about
the
it.
AAA rotation, right?
Oh yeah. No,
Because
but I'm
that
saying
is looking nice.
it is actually. Well, I did
Yeah,
say recently
I
that
know.
you could take the Nashville Sounds rotation and make it like a major league rotation.
No, it'd definitely be better than I
Or
think a couple major league
yeah.
rotations.
But that kind of brings up like Nestor Cortez is coming back. Like what's gonna happen? Like this pitching staff's been good, and they not only have good starters, but they have a couple like really good piggyback long, not like true long relief guys. So it's a good problem to have, that's for sure.
Yeah, I think they're in a good spot to be buyers, sellers, and they can play it off as like we have to, which I think is music to the front office's ears because they always want to do that. See Josh Hader. But in this case, it's less probably impactful players we're dealing, and we also I mean, we kind of have to. So unless you're gonna send down an all-star in Jacob Misiorowski or Quinn Priester, who is eligible to be sent down, but he's been good. But even in that case, like you still almost have too many arms. So I would think there's maybe a kind of reshuffling of some of our pieces here going into the deadline. But yeah, good problem to have, like
They
we've said
could
a million times. And we've talked about, I think even Gasser might come back at the end of the year. And
they
it'd
could
be
do a
hard to keep
true
him out of the rotation.
They could do a true six man too. Like Miz is, I can't imagine they send Miz down just because of all the hype and the fact that he just got an All-Star nod, which
Yep.
was up for debate around the league. Um, but at the same time, I think he's already getting pretty close to his max innings in a season, if you include the minor league innings. So I can see them doing a true six-man rotation. I mean, Woody, even though he took forever to come back, I'm
Yeah.
sure he could
Well, my
benefit
thing though
from.
is I don't know if they'd rather do a true six man or just use that sixth man to be a true like bulk guy to ride behind
Sure,
some of those guys.
sure, yeah.
But yeah, I know what you're saying. Either way.
Yeah. And then like even like I know we're not crazy high on Chad Patrick compared to what he did, but obviously he proved that he can
I
be
mean,
a number.
Henderson in his outings, and
Oh
he just
yeah.
had a super good start in AAA too. We might talk about later. So, um, and actually, Tobias Myers is back on the horse. So
Yeah.
yeah, there's just honestly, I'd
Well,
almost rather call upon Tobias Myers at this point than
yeah.
Patrick. Maybe let Patrick resettle in the minors and work on some other off speed stuff other than just that cutter fastball. But
And
either way,
Woody's been better than probably we even thought to start. I mean, it's been what, two starts, but I mean, I stashed Henderson in fantasy forever just to see that Woody's fine, so I
yeah,
don't need him anymore. Dropped him. Like that's how deep we are. And I don't know, you could argue you could just keep those guys around for the next couple of years too, like Chad and Henderson and Tobias, and just have them there for when inevitably Woodruff or Peralta or both are gone. But I don't know. And I don't know what kind of market there's going to be for those guys in trades. Obviously, we need a left side of the infield bat. Do the I'll ask my question now. I saw Suarez, Eugenio Suarez. The Diamondbacks are looking for if they sell, potentially controllable young pitchers.
yeah,
Would you
which we
trade
have.
Tobias Myers for Suarez? I saw that was a proposal, and just wanted to like thinking about teams that could be looking for more so a major league ready arm because that could be a perfect match for us.
Yeah, I think not my problem, but I guess my thing, and this is what I was thinking about the other day, is going into this season, we knew we were running out a probably not premier third baseman, right? And it started with something we've already seen before um, at third with why can't
Caleb
I think of his name?
Durbin.
Yeah, no, Durbin didn't start in this season. It was
Oh, I thought you meant right now.
uh, Oliver.
Ali.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was
Ali.
Oliver Dunn.
I know I couldn't remember the fan club I chair.
Yeah,
Um, we knew kind of what we were getting, right? They were optimistic for kind of no reason, and we'll see what happens. And then we knew Durbin would probably fill into that role. And since then, Durbin's been statistically like a plus defender, definitely better than Suarez, but the arm's questionable, but a much better lateral defender and with the glove. And his OPS plus, I think now is at 100 or like above. So he's a league average bat with better defense and a better base runner, which definitely fits our style. Now, Suarez has whatever, 31, 32, 30 jacks at the break.
you
That's
got a
kind of
lot.
nuts.
Yeah.
But I I would be rather surprised if he keeps his pace up. Um, all of that to say, I guess depending on the control bar arm, I'm sure there's guys we feel better about than not. And if it's someone front office would be willing to get rid of to add that bat, and it would make us more competitive. I just don't know. Like defensively, he would be a downside compared to what we have on the bases. So obviously, he's got a lot more pop in his bat, but he also Ks a lot more than Durbin. It'd be a much different player to slot in there. But I guess beggars can't be choosers. I would just say I'd sadly, because I love Joey Ortiz, but I would much rather get a shortstop.
Yeah, I think that's my problem is you can have Durbin, but I don't think you can have Durbin and Ortiz
Yeah.
in a lineup every day, especially if we're talking playing 20 playoff games, like in an ideal situation. I don't know. I hate having that hole in the lineup. And it's one thing to make one exception for like a really, really plus defender. But to have two of them, I don't know. It's a tougher excuse for me. And as much as I say that pitchers like we have too many with hitters, I don't really ever worry about that too much because I feel like it always comes up and then it always seems to be fine. So I would be pro getting another bat. Suarez can take uh some days at DH.
Yeah, and Durbin probably could fill
Dur-
in, let Bryce take a
yeah,
day
at
off,
second,
or
exactly. So I'd be
yeah.
more for it. Obviously, I still like Tobias Myers. That's not like I would rather, like you said, I'd rather ship Chad, sell high type of deal. Not that I don't believe in him, but um, I don't know. His stuff didn't like impress me that much, to be honest. I would almost think that this might be the best time to trade him if he has value, and I'm sure the Brewers know that.
Yeah. Yeah, I just don't know. I really wish there was a shortstop out there, but I don't know who plays shortstop and is available, honestly. But
Um, yeah, well, we can talk more deadline. Um, but wanted to look at the standings just because I did see that right now it would be a Brewers Mets matchup in Milwaukee again in the wild card round, and just thinking that people have said how much I don't want to be in the wild card round anymore. So they're a game behind the Cubs, obviously in the division too, but for that second bye, and we're a game and a half behind the Dodgers. So you got to hope that we can take one or two this weekend in LA. Not that it really matters still in July with the standings too much, but it would be nice to just take the season series from them after sweeping them. And then, yeah, it would just be super nice. I hope the Brewers take a little bit more of an aggressive approach. Now that we have young, controllable, good players everywhere, like in the infield, in the rotation, in the bullpen, in the outfield. It's really just what first base and catcher are the only spots where we don't have young, good, controllable players really lined up. And um,
I mean, we kind of have that at catcher, right?
kind of, yeah, I guess you could say it. I mean, not that I guess I just was thinking of Contreras as more of a veteran and he's only got a few years left,
Sorry, I
but
meant Caro. I'm high on him still,
yeah,
but yeah, sorry. I know what you're
no,
saying. Yeah, on the major league
unlike the
roster.
major league team. So,
Yep.
um, yeah, anyways, it would just be nice to go really aggressive this time around and try to win a playoff series by just not having to play in it.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
just be in the NLDS.
Yeah,
So
I would not be comfortable walking into that series.
I just would feel a lot better about a 5 game series. Not necessarily against the Mets, but and obviously like I'm fine with the 3 game series. I don't mind. I mean, obviously it's screwed us to this point, but I don't mind the idea of a 3 game series. Home team gets all 3 games at home. It's not a bad idea for an extra round, but it's just so fluky. And the first team has won every series since the inception. So Um,
Yeah.
unfortunately, that seems how it's gonna end up being most of the time.
Yeah.
We can talk the controversy that was Jacob Misiorowski being named to the All-Star team, and then kind of him in the All-Star break. I guess my takeaway was that it was kind of stupid to put him in the game to begin with, but obviously, and no, I don't think anyone was blaming Misiorowski. Obviously, you can't really blame him. But then I heard that like 12 pitchers turned it down, and it kind of made me feel a little better. Like, do we really want the 30th best pitcher in there, even if he has 100 innings and a 3.5 ERA over this kid who came up and has been an absolute phenom? I mean, obviously, I probably have some homer like goggles on, but it's one thing if he's leapfrogging like they said Christopher Sanchez on the Phillies or Ranger Suarez, but if they turn it down or they're not pitching, then I'd rather have Miz than like I don't know who the comparison would be than like the 40th best pitcher in baseball. I don't know. But I get it. I mean, I certainly did not agree with him. But then on the same note, Dave Roberts picked him. So like I don't think there should be this massive outrage. It's like if you're gonna have managers pick players, it's not their job to assemble rosters. I don't know.
Yeah, I still like was trying to find where it's like clearly stated that it's just the manager, but either way, I just think a lot of like rhetoric was stupid. Like apparently all the Phillies are mad, but also apparently both the guys they were complaining about already said no or something. So it's like, what are we doing
Yeah,
here?
one pitch Sunday and one said no.
You're just bitching
So
to bitch.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I don't know. I definitely think they put a target on his back, the way it was handled. And then Ken Rosenthal definitely helped that target on his back. Um, I think was, I don't know, how they conducted interviews and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's an entertainment thing. It seems to have brought more eyes. And in Misiorowski's case, I don't know if all press is good press, but in the MLB's case, all press is good press, and it definitely brought a lot more eyes and national media to whether Miz would get in and how his outing went and so on. Um, yeah, I don't know. I just think it's a weird situation, but I mean, we've known for a long time, like the All-Star game is not what I think it once was in our heads when we were kids either, right? So, um, maybe it's a little less not important, of an honor, I guess. I don't know, but um, it's a cool story
Well,
for
I
him.
think to that point, it's just rosters are so much bigger now to begin with.
Yeah,
And there's just a lot more people sitting out. Like, I don't know how you police it. Pitchers are one thing. I like whatever. If pitchers want to take the break, I don't blame them. But I don't think position players should really. I mean, I guess it's tough to say if they truly have a lingering injury or whatever. But guys just saying like, "Nah, I'm gonna take the rest." I mean, just show up and take one AB. I don't know. It just seems silly to me. And like what you said and I said, growing up, it just felt like it meant so much, and it was truly like the cream of the crop players. And not even that it determined home field advantage in the World Series, which actually is insane if you think about it, that it determined home field
yeah,
in the World Series. But yeah, I don't know. It's lost a little bit of its luster. I am glad they're wearing their own uniforms though. That brought some
yeah.
of
That's cool.
the.
Yeah, I think honestly though, like even when the All-Star game was cool, I don't know, when we were younger and I loved watching all the game, so on, so forth. But even like when you look back at different seasons, I mean, considering the All-Star voting happens halfway through the year, like it doesn't really define someone's season either. Like someone could have a terrible second half or a really good second half, and then it's not reflected in All-Star votes. So like, I don't know, maybe it's better that we're not overly weighting an All-Star appearance because it's literally half the season.
Fun fact: 1989 AL MVP Robin Yount was not a 1989
Exactly.
All-Star. So
Exactly. Well,
yeah,
that's what I think about in 20 years, for example. Say Miz finishes out the year on the major league roster and he continues at a similar pace, even if he finishes like a whatever, almost a 3 ERA with but high K numbers and so on. Like no one's gonna be like, "Wow, he was an all-star." It'll be like, "Oh, okay,
yeah,
he had a good season."
yeah. I hope he puts together a respectable line when it's all said and done this year, just so it's like not that that's really how All-Star appearances work, but retroactively, like you said, when we look back.
All right, I got a clip for you. I want to hear your take on this. Let me know if you
Oh
can hear
boy.
it.
Oh boy.
Number two, we made a big deal about the Milwaukee pitcher being in the All-Star game, which he shouldn't have been in because he only had the 5 starts, 25 innings. He pitches the 8th inning. He was not Mariano Rivera. Okay. Number one, everybody was reading about his 102 mile an hour fastball. He throws 102 miles an hour. Number two, he gave up hits.
By the way, Ariza Mena is supposed to be Randy Arozarena, just for the record. It took me
So
a second to
he cut
realize.
out he cut out like 5 seconds ago. I stopped
Oh,
hearing it like 5 seconds ago.
it's Mad Dog complaining,
Yeah.
saying everyone throws 102, and then he said Ariza Mena hit a rocket off him, which is supposed to be Randy Arozarena.
You know what's funny is I could not stand that dude when he was on MLB Network. That was probably the
Yeah, he's
only
terrible.
the only show and analyst that I genuinely couldn't stand on MLB Network, and now he just went to ESPN, which is just clickbait city now,
Yeah.
unfortunately. That's another thing that went downhill is Sports Center used to be must-watch television every morning, and now it's
Oh
just
yeah.
people trying to you could just say whether it's the All-Star game or Sports Center or whatever, it's all just I feel like ruined by like social media clicks equal money. Uh
Mm-hmm.
Kind of crazy, but I'll take it for what it is. I will say I love the swing off for extra innings. That was cool.
Yep. Yeah,
But
you won in the regular season, right?
yeah, exactly. But I don't really like the new home run derby format, and
I agree.
it's
I
I
we knew
think
that
it
though.
would
We
be
knew it even the last
yeah,
format. Like it should just
right.
go back again.
I
Why
think it would
change
be
something that's not broke?
I think the timer would be awesome if I was in the stands, like watching a dude hit 40 home runs in a row. But on TV, it's kind of sucky viewing.
Yeah,
I
but
don't
even
know.
if you're in the stands, like it's not like, oh, I have to wait for another. You'd still be into it. I don't know.
Right. Well, and then to also, you had the genius idea to do a swing off in extra innings in the All-Star game, but then they sent Cal Raleigh over Brent Rooker through to the next round on apparently
Yeah, an
less than an
inch,
inch of
not even.
like
Yeah,
what a missed opportunity to do
that
a
was stupid.
swing off right there. Are you kidding
Yeah,
me? Also, because there's no way they were that accurate.
yeah,
Yeah,
that
that
was
was
pretty
I don't know.
stupid.
There's just some things where like I'll admit I was wrong about the pitch clock. I love the pitch clock.
Yeah, me too.
But there's some things that I'm like, yeah, I could have told you that was a stupid idea to change the format. It like there have been a couple of rounds that are really electric, but for the most part, it's kind of shitty optics on TV to try to like you're not really watching the home runs. You're just taking their word for it. So
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah. I don't know. I don't like it either. But whatever. I'm
It is
just
what it
happy
is.
it's over now with the missed stuff. I will say, like, even honestly, Abner Uribe was more probably deserving, and that kind of sucks. But I don't know, and I don't think our front office is one to pay out All-Star. I guess I don't know if there's an All-Star bonus for in his case because he's still uh
Yeah, that's the other
armed.
thing I'm
But
talking about is that then that makes it a weird situation too because like
yeah,
I'm pretty sure it is Dave Roberts because Dave Roberts commented on it. It's like so then what is Dave is Pat Murphy supposed to like so Jacob Misiorowski carves up the Dodgers and Roberts is like, oh, I get to pick this extra reserve after a bunch of people say no, this would be a cool thing to do. In his personal opinion, whether everyone disagrees with it or not, he picks Misiorowski. What's Murphy supposed to do? Like, oh yeah, no thanks. Like I'm gonna turn down an all-star nod for him. I don't know. I don't
yeah,
get it.
yeah.
Like,
It was just weird. I mean, I think all the Brewers handled it well. Like, why? What? Like, basically just saying, why are you being negative? Like, it.
yeah,
It's not like he begged for it and was granted some wish from above. It's like they asked
yeah.
him to be in it because they knew it would bring eyes, and they were right. So whatever, move on.
Oh boy, I just saw actually this was 4 hours ago. Ken Rosenthal as a new podcast, and some of the bullet points include All-Star Game takeaways and his dude and dork of the week. Which when I had the few times I listened to his podcast, some of these were hard watches when he would get
I actually have
negative feedback. So
I have
I'm
a candidate
curious.
for him as a constant dork of the week. It
Yeah,
is him.
I was gonna say I am very. I think I might actually listen to this episode just to hear his takeaway because I'm not gonna lie. Listen to that podcast. A lot of his episodes were just him defending himself doing stupid stuff, like
Yeah.
and telling fans why they're wrong. Which is funny because he seems like a nice guy, but he just sometimes
hmm
has no feel. Um, all right.
And
Talking
there
about
was,
the Brewers.
sorry, All-Star
Oh, go
game,
ahead.
Hank Aaron tribute finally went through. I think his wife was there. That was a cool moment. And it was in the
Yeah.
middle of me and my fiance were having a good debate because our save the dates are going out and we had an argument over which stamps to buy because there's currently some Hank Aaron specialty stamps and she opted to buy flower stamps instead, but we still got a couple Hank Aaron stamps. So tried to include those on a couple save the dates for
Sign in
people that would appreciate
prenup.
it. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I sure hope that. Well, if I'm invited, I sure hope that my stamp is Hank
Oh,
Aaron.
yeah. I was like, oh, I guess since you're only giving me X amount, at least give it to people that don't like him. Then she goes, should I give Scoop one of the Hank Aaron ones? I was like, what do you think?
Yeah.
No, he wants the
Yeah.
flowers.
I'll give her a phone call. Funny. All right. Yeah. What talking Milwaukee Brewers? Sal Frelick, a little bit of a. It's a hammy, right?
Yeah, that's what they said, which
Yeah.
is weird
Okay.
because the play it happened on, but maybe I guess it was running to it, not the slide, or maybe it was the slide, but like, I feel like you don't normally hurt your hamstring on that movement. Normally it's running, but either way, they said a grade one hammy, which is best case, I guess. Hopefully back in a week or two, and I'm pretty sure Perkins is now off his rehab, if I recall. So I'm curious if they actually think he's hurt. Might see Perkins right away.
Yeah.
Otherwise, Daz Cameron's lighting it up after in AAA. He is, but we'll see.
Yeah. I'd like to be. I'd like to see Perkins back, not because of an injury, but I miss him just in general.
hmm
Um, and then I don't know if you have any other Brewers news or injuries or anything like that before we just can do some general trade talk. I was gonna maybe just pull up potential candidates and see if we can talk about targets, maybe.
I'll hop around the farm really quick just to get that out of the way too.
Yeah, let's hear it.
If it hadn't been for those meddling kids. If it hadn't been for you meddling kids. Ah, meddling kids. If it hadn't been for these meddling laddies.
So in Nashville, like I said, Daz Cameron was lighting it up. He had a home run, a couple doubles for a 1950 OPS. Also Jefferson Caro and Tyler Black getting it done. So a couple guys that we names we know had good weeks down there, and then the bullpen in Nashville has been really good. Payamps is looking good down there. Craig Yoho, as we know, looks good. Josh Majeski looks good. So lots of guys pitching well. Chad Patrick had a decent outing, and I mentioned Logan Henderson. He had a 7K, 6 innings, 1 earned run, 2 hitter. So he's working on his craft down there. I think kind of working on a better third offering. So that something to keep an eye on as the season progresses. In Biloxi, Luis Lara has like constantly been right out of the group I'd want to comment on, but been solid. And this week, again, he did that. So in only 3 games, but he had 3 hits, 6 walks, and a steal. So his on base percentage was 2/3, which is pretty crazy. On the bump for them, a couple guys were getting it done. Who do I want to shout out? Ryan Middendorf, just because I remember doing his profile like 2 years ago when we talked about him. He had a clean inning with a K, and Mark Manfredi had 2 innings clean with 2 Ks. In Appleton, Blake Burke was top of my list here. He had 4 hits in 3 games. Hedbert Perez also had a good week, as well as Blayberg Diaz, catching player. I've not heard of prospect. Blayberg. It's a sick
Yeah,
name.
it sounds made up.
Yeah, it's a sick name. Carolina Mudcats. Braylon Payne, top of the list, just with 3 hits, but one of them was a home run, one of them was a double. Luis Pena also had 3 hits, 2 doubles in there, and Eric Martinez, the Mudcats catcher, had 2 hits in the 1 game he played, but one was a double and one was a homer. So in their shortened week as well, those guys were getting it done. And then Bryce Message had a 6 inning outing with 6 Ks. Gave up a couple hits, but he's looked good all year. And then Ethan Dorchis pitched 3 innings over that span in the 1 game he played in and had 5 Ks in those 3 innings. So he's also been getting it done. And then I got a bunch of names from the Complex League and DSL, but I will hold off. But I also pulled year-to-date minor league performers, so I wanted to just jump on a couple guys. We talked about it, got them out too, but Marco Dinges has been really good. Brock Wilkin with the 942 OPS. Obviously, he's been hurt now, but Jefferson Caro as well is almost a 900 OPS. Jane Fielder, 881. We got a lot of guys hitting really well in the minors. Let's see, over almost like 30 guys have over an 800 OPS within our system this year. So lots of guys getting it done. Josh Adam Jeski, is that how you pronounce it? The
Adam
shortstop.
Shesky, I thought?
Yeah,
I don't know.
he's had a really strong year between A ball and the complex league. So he's a guy too to watch throughout the system. And then pitchers, Coleman Crowe has been really filthy. We got from the Mets a couple of years ago, I believe, and was coming off an elbow injury, but he's been good. Tyson Harden is a name we've talked about. Bishop Letson. These are guys at all different levels too. So DeBerry has been solid. Lots of guys getting it done at both levels, which is no surprise. We've been very lucky over the last few years to have a stacked farm system. And I don't think that's luck either. That's the front office. So, and I'll save draft talk for once we figure out which guys signed before I get too excited. But we
Sure.
did get some vols, so we got that
Yeah,
going for us.
I was gonna say before we go back to trade talk, we could just mention that first round pick Andrew Fisher is one of the probably better I'm guessing probably not a high ceiling guy. I'm not a draft expert, but a guy who was
Yeah,
a
I think
a
it's
good college bat with a lot of power.
yeah,
You kind of
similar
know
to
what
some
you're
of the
getting,
previous
basically.
picks, like guys where you at least see that they can get done at a pretty high level. But yeah, he had a higher walk rate than K rate, I think, and had some really good pop. He's kind of bounced around in the infield in his college career,
Sounds
as
like
well
he'll
as
play
bounced around different
first.
teams. But yeah, it looks like that's what he played this year. And I feel like if you're not good enough probably to play those other positions in college, I'm guessing the Brewers don't want you to play them, but we'll see. And then our competitive A pick we used on a 17-year-old shortstop, LSU commit. His dad's, I think, a coach within the Dodgers org.
Third base coach, yeah.
Yep. And then our second round pick, we took a lefty with a low arm slot, I believe a college lefty. But then our competitive balance pick was a high school lefty who's also a 17-year-old. So again, I think it's classic Brewers case of probably drafting a guy like Fisher, where we'll probably go under slot and save some of that for whether it's these high school picks or some of the guys in the later rounds. I know there's some pretty decent prospects. They picked like 10 through 20 that are high school kids. But I don't want to get too far into it until we see they signed because there's a
Yeah.
pretty good chance those kids still go to college and bet on themselves to be a first round pick because obviously we think they're good. But yeah, I think an exciting draft per usual. I feel pretty good coming out of it for now, but we got to see how the finances shake out.
Yeah, I saw a different tweet essentially saying like we've reached the stage of the draft where everyone else is drafting college bats and or
Yep.
college players and the Brewers are drafting high schoolers that no one thinks is going to
Hmm.
sign, but that's worked out before in
Yeah.
like a Cooper Pratt or
Yeah.
um whatever. But yeah, good stuff.
Yeah. Brewer Fanatic has pretty good like draft coverage, so I keep an eye on that. And then Spencer McKellis, or
Hmm.
however you pronounce his name, he's got pretty good stuff too on it. So those are two Twitter pages I keep an eye on, as well as just general my feed when it's not when my feed's not CEOs at Coldplay concerts. It's normally Brewers news.
That was funny.
Yes, it was.
Um, all right. Ryan O'Hearn is the probably
Not a needle mover for me. Keep hearing it. I don't
the
quite get it.
most, I was gonna say the makes the most not makes the most sense, but has been linked to the most without a real rumor, I guess. I don't know. But either way, yeah, I don't know that we need a first baseman, to be honest. I kind of
Yeah,
feel good
like
about
it'd
a
be nice,
Hoskins,
but like I feel like Bowers is a better glove than O'Hearn anyways. Obviously not the hitter O'Hearn's been this year especially, but I don't know if he's
but you
what
feel
he's
like
been.
between Hoskins, Vaughn,
Yeah, I think
Bauer,
the issues is they said Hoskins not back till some point in August, but I guess we're already
yeah.
halfway through July, so
But Andrew Vaughn, I mean, it's not going to last forever, which
don't
I
say
hope
that.
I hope I'm
Five
wrong,
games,
but
point
he's
five
fine
WAR.
for now. Yeah,
No, he's I mean he's been an average slash slightly above average at least at
yeah.
the plate first baseman, and I don't know. We've gotten by with worse. So yeah,
Well,
I agree.
I agree with you on that one. Looking at the just reading this article I saw about the Twins potentially being sellers. It says their top trade chips. Obviously, Joe Ryan. We're not going to be in on that. Yoan Duran. That would be cool, but probably not. But then it has listed Carlos Correa, which I just looked at his contract.
Yeah, the money,
He's got
there's
like
no way that
six
could
years
work.
left. Well, like 4 years and then like an option.
And
So
it's
yeah,
four
there's no
years at
way.
like 30 mil. It's not
Yeah.
like,
And he's been awful.
yeah,
Who
he's
would
not been
trade for
good.
him?
Yeah,
He had
that's
a
not
good year
happening.
last year, but he's getting under 700 OPS. I can't imagine anyone would trade for him right now.
Unless it's like the
Um,
Dodgers or someone, they're like,
right.
they don't care. That'd be okay. Maybe they
Yeah.
should do that, but not us.
What about Willie Castro? He
Yeah,
plays
he does
everywhere.
everything.
He's not as good as he was last year. Last year was kind of a career year for him.
He- yeah, I think he'd be like a cool and a good utility piece that any good team needs, but he's, yeah, I guess, I don't know. I don't know how well he rates out defensively at shortstop. I know he plays it on occasion, but because I think that's where we'd want to use him. Um, but yeah, I wouldn't complain about it. I also, he's, again, if he's the difference between a World Series, I'd be quite surprised.
Yeah, I would hope we would do something bigger. But he definitely helps me feel better about not having to like play Andrew Monasterio in an
Yeah.
emergency situation in the playoffs. Nothing against Monasterio is great for what he is, but I hope I don't see Monasterio at bats in October.
Yep.
Um, yeah, I'm just curious. I'm looking at his uh what's it called, baseball reference page, and I wanted to see his value for fielding, but
How sick of you are hearing Freddie Peralta trade packages at this point?
yeah, I'm honestly not even
They
really
just
sick
like
of it
keep
because I
doing
just think
it,
it's
which is
dumb.
weird. Like
I don't
I
know.
kind of got doing it before we went on our run. So like a month ago, it's like, yeah, maybe it's the Brewers, but like I don't know how they do it now, unless it was for a win now piece, I guess, because we have all these
Yeah,
arms, but it would have to be quite the player.
yeah. Um, there is Ozzy Albies was listed amongst the Braves. For the Brewers, I don't think they're
I
gonna move
don't
to
get that
Rang
as a fit.
midseason.
Yeah,
That's
unless
what I'm
they
saying.
think he's playing shortstop.
I don't think the obvious fit would be to move Terrain to short, but you have to do that in the offseason at this point, especially
Yeah.
after what happened when they tried in the spring and it hurt his shoulder. That's the last thing you need right now.
Hmm.
But I wouldn't mind a buy low on Ozzy Albies, also
Yeah.
expiring with the team option after this year. So probably doesn't make sense. They also list Marcelo Ozuna from the Braves.
Doesn't make sense.
Yoel Moncada, I know this is a guy that you pegged before the year as Brewers should go get him, and they didn't. And now it sounds like he could potentially be a fit.
Yeah, I think I just don't know how much of a plus he truly is over Durbin at this point in his career, just with his durability and so on. But yeah, I don't think he'd hurt anything. Hopefully, I don't know. I've heard bad stories about that White Sox locker room, but hopefully he wasn't the issue.
Yeah. Yeah. Those were all the ones I had written down, but I don't know if you have any others that come to mind. I don't know.
No,
Like you
there's
said, it's
the
kind of,
age-old Ryan McMahon discussion, but he does. I don't know. There's a decent amount of money on his contract, and he's not, again, been much better than, or if at all better than Caleb Durbin this year. So I don't know. I think we just got to wait and see what happens. I'm sure there's more sellers and buyers to be determined in the next week and a half too.
yeah, I do agree that I mean I'm fine with Durbin if the options are like Moncada or um, McMahon or whatever. I hope I really hope they can pull off something big. And when I say big, obviously I don't mean like
Yeah.
big for the Dodgers. I mean big for the Brewers. Like even like
Mike Moustakas.
Moustakis. Yeah, I was gonna say it wasn't necessarily a big move, but it ended
Yeah.
up being pretty big. And obviously sometimes those things don't work out as well as they should. Like um, Eduardo Escobar was probably similar caliber at that point and it flopped, but
Hmm.
sometimes it does work. So yeah, I don't know. Time will tell. We'll see. Um, but yeah, Brewers are rolling right now. 16 games over 500, headed into the second half. Good stuff. They just keep doing it year over year. So hopefully they can bypass that wild card round.
Yeah.
All right, go Brewers.
Go Brewers.